Christopher Santiago with BloodyElbow.com. Today we're talking to a man who went 8-2 in the lightweight division at one point, a former top five contender, and the only man to go 5 rounds with the legendary Khabib, the most dangerous real estate agent on the planet, Mr. Raging Al Iaquinta. Raging Al, how's it going today, man?
Everything is going good, brother. I really appreciate you having me. This is great.
Awesome, man. Well, one of my biggest regrets is not covering a Raging Al fight. I never got the opportunity to because when you retired, I just got out of high school, but it would have been awesome to cover a Raging Al fight, man. But it's great to talk to you today.
So I got to make a comeback then.
Is that where you're leaning towards right now? Do you feel like you might fight again, I guess?
I don't think so. I don't know. They I keep getting calls from I don't know. We'll see, but I don't think so. I'm so busy in real estate and doing so well. I've got such a great team there and still such a great team with the Saralongo guys. But I go into the gym, I help out a little bit, I train, keep my juices flowing keep my sanity in the gym. But then I've got the other side, the business side, which is and just growing leaps and bounds every day.
Hmm. I know some fighters, like I heard Johnny Hendricks, he told MMA Junkie that he doesn't like to watch UFC anymore because it makes him kind of get the itch to come back. Do you still follow the sport very closely? And I guess how much do you watch UFC nowadays?
Yeah, I watch a lot. I mean, definitely not as much as I used to. I don't think you can't. I used to watch every single fight. Now there's just so many. You know what I mean? It's every weekend. So unless you're on the couch every Saturday night, it's tough. You know what I mean? But I do catch I most of the pretty much all the pay-per-views, and then a lot of if I know somebody or something, so a lot of the guys that I still trained with or in the mix are kind of like, still around. Those definitely. And yeah, I love the sport. I love the sport. I love how it's just continually evolving. I go to like some of the regional shows here on Long Island, and they're like, you know, UFC cards back in like the early 2000s, the level of skill. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like these amateur guys, they're like their first five amateur fights. Their skill level is, what was like a UFC veteran. So the level of this sport's just grown tremendously, and it's great to keep up and watch and see, where it's going to go next.
Mhm. How has your real estate agent career changed since you left fighting? I mean, I feel like you now have more eggs in one basket, just so to speak. But how has it changed from you since you went, like, I guess, full time?
Yeah, that's it. I went full time. Uh, I was still in the gym training a little bit, but not like I was. But but yeah, being able to dedicate myself to the real estate the way I was dedicated to fighting, it's like, there's not a broker, an agent on Long Island or in the country that could hang with me. I really truly believe that. And I just am like I was thirsty for knowledge, every move, every technique, every bit of an advantage I wanted to gain in the fighting space. I'm now switched over, and it's so similar, the real estate game and the fight game. Like I built a great team around me in real estate, just like I had with the Saralongo fight team. I have some great agents with me and my team, and yeah, it's really growing leaps and bounds, and it's a beautiful thing.
Awesome, man. Well, I gotta say, you have the best background for a Zoom meeting ever with that Long Island backdrop, man. I gotta say,
Sick.
you're killing it. It looks like you're killing it. So that looks very awesome. Very happy for you.
When you fight Khabib, you live at a house like this, you know. As you get the down payment. That's the only reason I did it.
Yeah.
The real estate that came along with it.
Awesome, man. I guess how did you spend that? Or I mean, is that how you spent that Habib paycheck, or how did that work? I guess.
Yeah, that this is pretty much, a lot of it came here. Just the down payment for this house, and yeah, that was it. You know what I mean? It's I always wanted to live on the water, living on Long Island. You know, all the rich kids lived on the water growing up, and I always wanted to live on the water. One day my kid could be the rich kid, in school. You know what I mean? So when I
Yeah.
fought Khabib, I was like, I looked at probably 200 houses on the water in Long Island, on the South Shore, um, and found this house. It's perfect. It's on a canal. So on Long Island, there's the bay. If you want to live on the water, there's either the bay or the canal. And the canal is up, and usually when you're on a canal, it's a little more cramped, it's a little tighter. And on the other side of the canal, there is another house that's probably looking right into your backyard. The benefit of living on a canal is that you don't get beat up by the on the bay, the waves, the wind beats up your house. But there's no one across from you. You're looking out into the bay. There's nothing. So here I kind of have the best of both worlds. There's no one across from me. It's a natural estuary. There's birds and like it's protected land, but I'm not getting pounded by the waves on the bay. It's like the best house and in the best place, Long Island. If you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, what better commercial than this right here?
For sure, man. For sure. I did want to talk to you about your retirement fight against King Green. When you made that walk at Madison Square Garden, did you feel like that was going to be your last time making the walk? And I feel like you did have injuries prior to that, right?
I was injured the whole second half of my career was I was injured. Diego Sanchez fight. Really after Masvidal, I had a surgery, I think it was, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
And I had that surgery and then I was out for like a year and a half. And then ever since then it was all, just battling, really not even just trying to go into the fight healthy. Um So yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, I'm sure there were injuries, but I felt pretty good going into the fight. I was in sick shape, that's for sure. You know what I mean? I did everything I could to get my body prepared. But Bobby Green's just, I think he's a tricky guy, and back then I probably wasn't like as dialed in, like I should have been to fight a guy like that. They had a fight at MSG, and I was like, let's go. MSG, and me and
Yeah.
Bobby were supposed to fight in the past. You know what I mean? So I think it was just like a perfect matchup. Not, didn't end up being a perfect matchup, but I think, going into it, I thought it was a very good matchup in a good place with a good opponent. And yeah, it was pretty cool to fight at MSG. Would have been a lot cooler to win at MSG, but it is what it is.
Was there any like thinking of like how Dustin Poirier had his retirement fight in his New Orleans home state? I guess after that fight, did you ever feel like like I've done a lot for this sport, like to kind of pick how you go out. So did you kind of want to pick how you went out in terms of having one more fight in like New York, Long Island, something like that?
Uh, I don't know if that. I'm not really. I don't know if I don't know if I'm that guy that can do that. I'm not like
Yeah.
gonna make like because if I would have beat Bobby Green, who knows? I might have fought again the next. You know what I mean? Like who says? I don't know. I just feel like it's not like a thing that I can retire from fighting. It's just like you're always. It's just I don't know. I probably could have like done it then after the Bobby Green fight, but then like who gives a shit? You lost, you know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I don't know. No one. It's hard to go out on a loss. I mean, it's hard to go out. It's hard to go out on a win
Yeah.
because you want to fight again, and it's hard to go out on a loss because it's like you lost. It's kind of like you give it up for the winner. You know what I mean? It's like his time. I didn't want to like. What am I gonna grab the mic from Bobby Green and be like, "Oh, I'm retiring"? No, it's
Yeah.
freaking. You know, it was his moment. He fought at MSG. He freaking, had a great performance. So it was hats off to him.
Hmm. You fought a lot of killers, man, in the lightweight division. Who hit the hardest out of all of your opponents?
Who hit the hardest? I Ross Pearson actually he hit pretty freaking
Wow,
hard. He hit me with a couple
really?
of hard like a jab that hit me, and I was like, whoa. Um, but then Masvidal hit me pretty freaking hard. He put me down. Cowboy kicks pretty hard. He put me down with a kick. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all is I'd say those guys for sure.
Who's the toughest fighter? I feel like Hooker kind of belongs in the conversation, but I feel like you fought. I mean, like I said, you fought a murderer's row at lightweight.
Yeah, Dan Hooker, Masvidal. I think those are but those are it's about as tough as they come.
Uh-huh. What do you make of the new lightweight champion, Ilia Topuria? He did what Conor did. He got the featherweight title, but he actually defended it, went up, uh, got it over Charles. I mean, what do you make of him as a champion? What he's doing for the sport right now?
He's great. He's great. He's the total package, right? I think he speaks well. He's an inspiration to the younger generation. He's a positive role model, and I think he's kind of got his head straight to where he's he's like a family guy, and I see him having a long reign, a positive reign. And yeah, I think he's the next evolution. I think he's like Connor 2.0. He took Connor's blueprint and then just like leveled it up a notch. I think he's, uh in some way, but Connor was one of a kind, and but he definitely is. He's doing it his own way. He's doing it
Mhm.
his own way, but he's taking a lot from the Connor book. It's cool to see, and yeah, I'm interested in seeing what happens next. They got to make that fight with Islam, right?
Yeah, for
Got to
sure.
be a fight.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next question. I mean, if Islam, I mean, I feel like he's gonna probably fight JDM next and MSG, but I guess who should get the next flyweight title shot? You got Justin Gaethje, Armin, maybe even Patty. Who would you kind of favor in that conversation?
I hope they don't give it to Patty. They can't give it to Patty. I think Gaethje
Why
and him.
not?
I
Just
don't think I don't think he's fought the caliber of guys. I think they've definitely given him like the favorable matchups. Like, I think the last three opponents he's on are on like an 0-10 losing streak. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you got
like
before you
0 and
fight,
13, 0 and 12, or something like that.
yeah, But there is the bad blood. You know what I mean? They got that bad blood goes a long way in selling pay-per-views, and at the end of the day, that's all the UFC really cares about. It's not about who's rightfully deserving of it, but more who can sell the more pay-per-views. And Patty might be the guy. And you know what I mean? It's kind of like you kind of skip the line, you go right to the title shot, you might be able to get it done. I think a lot of the tough fights are the ones like, the quarters and the semifinals leading up into the final the match. And I feel like he kind of like skipped those because he fought guys that are kind of like on the way out, a little losing streaky and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean I think it's Arman probably should be the most deserving. He was there. What happened?
Yeah,
They kind of like making a weird deal about it. But like, I think he got injured. They didn't like that. But I think if he's injured, I think he might have made the smart move for himself. Probably the UFC didn't like it too much. They probably just want him to go in there and fight. But uh, I think it's between the three of those guys, right? It's got to be
hmm
maybe you match up the two of them real quick and say the winner gets a title shot, pump it up like that. But I don't know. It didn't seem like Dana wanted Patty in the cage after the fight,
yeah,
right? That
yeah.
was
And
common.
yeah, so my thinking is, well, he kind of ruled out Armin because of the withdrawal. He kind of ruled out Patty because of the face-off. So I'm kind of led to believe that Justin might get it, but he's also saying that he's going to retire if he doesn't get the title shot, which he could be
Never.
shooting himself in the foot. I guess, what do you think of that? Of him kind of putting an ultimatum to Dana?
It's never good. You never listen. I understand it 100%. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing if I were him, but I think it's when you're dealing with the UFC, it's almost better to beg a little bit than to give an ultimatum, like you said. Uh, yeah, yeah. Arman. Well, didn't Arman make weight? Wasn't he the backup fighter? Did he make
Yeah,
weight?
yeah, he made weight at 155 for UFC 317. Yeah,
So I think that might be a good indication of where they're looking to go, right? I think, they really wanted him in the cage in the octagon. Um, when Ilia
yeah.
won, and
So I
Patty
mean,
jumps
yeah,
in
go
there.
on. Sorry.
Oh, Rogan, come on, man. What are you doing? That's not, it was, that was Armin's moment. That would have been great. But yeah, I guess everything happens for a reason. Who knows? Maybe the stars are just aligning for Patty to get in there. It's an exciting time in the lightweight division. It's kind of like fresh, new. Gaethje's been around for a while. He's been in there and he's done that. But other than that, it's all and you always, everyone's rooting for Gaethje. He's such a warrior. So yeah, it's an exciting time in the lightweight division, it's for sure. And then Islam. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I, that
that's the
that's the
fight.
that's the freaking that's the modern day Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. You know what I mean? It's like I
Yeah,
can't not you can never imagine what's gonna happen. What would have happened if those two fought? You can't like picture it even. Like what happens if Islam and Ilia get in there together? What the heck's gonna happen? It's such a random there's so many different X factors that each of them have. Islam's got the wrestling, but they're saying Ilya's got the wrestling too. He doesn't really use it much, but when you're seeing him training, it looks like he's got it. And everyone, the rumors, but then the stand up, Ilya's stand up is crazy. He's got the knockout power. He's knocking everybody out. No one gets knocked. The guys that don't get knocked out, he's knocking out. It's crazy. That's a crazy fight. They got to make that. I have to see that fight.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I got two more questions for you. One about Conor McGregor. I always like your insight when it comes to him. Do you feel like at this point, do you think Conor McGregor fights again?
Uh, if I had to say no, I would think that he doesn't. I think he's done a great job of keeping himself in the headlines, but I don't know if it's a lot. I mean, I think he's 36, 37, right? Is he 37, 38 years old?
I believe he's 37. I could be wrong. He's either 36 or 37 for sure.
I don't think he's fought. Has he fought since he did all the? He started on the juice and then he did the movie and then he got off the juice. Now he's probably is he back in the testing pool? Who knows? He's
Yeah, it's
living
been a minute.
he's living a good life, and the longer you go without fighting, the harder it is to come back. So you almost hope that he doesn't, But I hope I hope. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like he's a little out of his mind still. So we'll see. I don't know. It's it would and who did the why can't I think of his name right now? Lobov, Artem. Did you see Artem's interview the other day?
With Ariel, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
supposedly
Artem,
BKFC like owes him like 300,000 or something for pay-per-view points. But yeah, what were you saying with Connor?
yeah, I heard him say that the pay-per-view points with Artem. That's surprising because I feel like BKFC kind of has it together and they've been doing a good thing, but maybe they just gave that money to Connor. I don't know.
I think they
Uh,
were reinvesting it. That's what they told Artem, that they were reinvesting it and that they were going to pay him, but it just never happened. But yeah, something like that.
Imagine that. Yeah, Artem, we're gonna just reinvest your money.
Yeah, crazy, right?
He should be getting if it was 300, he should be getting all right, you can reinvest my money. I'll take 500 on the way out. You know what I mean? You gotta pay you what were we talking? Artem he said that Connor was barely training when he fought Khabib, and he was like, "Listen, if Connor, you still see him move around. He still looks pretty good, right? He's a little stocky, I guess, but um, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool to see him come back. I think I think I think him and Artem should, kind of like
Get the band back together.
get the way Artem Lobov was talking on Ariel, I was blown away. I was like, this guy is
Hmm.
so intelligent, and he's I'm sure he could have went a different way with the whole thing that happened, but just like what a stand-up guy, the way he laid the whole scene out, how everything went down, and then even Ariel pointed out, he said we when if we were trained, I forget what it was, but he said we, like they were still together, like it's just, and it was almost
Yeah.
like just like a slip of the tongue, but you could, it definitely showed where his head's at, and I think that's a guy that you really want on your side. That's like a real solid dude, just by the way he was talking about the way everything went down. So I get the band back together, get Artem back in there with Conor. He's fighting in the PFL, right? Who's he fighting?
Zubaira Tokoyev,
Tukov,
or
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Tukov or something.
Get those two, and then Conor makes his comeback. He maybe gets in the gym and starts doing the right thing. Artem motivates him. Wouldn't that be great? And Conor
And they
comes
bring Raging Al to spar, get some sparring rounds in.
back. Yeah, I'm in real estate shape right now. I don't know about fighting shape, but I'd never say no to those guys. I don't know. Yeah, no, I was blown away by that interview. I thought it was a great interview with Artem Lobov, and if the way he spoke about things, if that comes to fruition, and the way he spoke about it as passionately as he did, I think it definitely is a possibility. But I think it's all in Connor's hands, and it seems like Connor's really just having the time of his life right now.
Hmm. The last question before I get you out of here. What was your favorite Raging Al moment in the UFC? When I think of Raging Al, I think of you screaming at Kevin Lee in that fifth round of your rematch of him. Just but what was your favorite Raging Al moment?
That was a good one. The one, and then in Virginia when I cursed out the crowd, that was fun. But I think the what really sticks out is uh going to Sydney, Australia, and fighting Ross Pearson way back. That was like my first big fight. A guy that I had watched when I was growing up, and now I'm going to Sydney, Australia. They called me and they're like, "Do you want to fight Ross Pearson?" I was like, "Ross Pearson, that's crazy." And Sydney, Australia, I was like, "I'll go to Sydney." I never really thought much about going to Australia. I never would have gone to Australia probably, but it has become one of my favorite places in the whole world. The Australian people are awesome. Sydney, the city is great. It's right on the water, right on the beach. My kind of people, my kind of place. I won the fight, kind of made a name for myself, and stayed there for like 2 weeks after, and cruised up the coast of Australia, up to Byron
Nice.
Bay, up to the Great Barrier Reef. Aljo and I, we went, we stayed for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and just cruised the coast of Australia. It was pretty epic, and that was probably one of my best memories. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I heard that you guys are gonna have your Aljo's gonna have his wedding. Rob's gonna be there. You're gonna be there. I think here Jan's gonna be there too. So looking forward to seeing the pictures from that, man.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Jamaican Independence Day. It's Jamaican
Really?
Independence Day. Funk Harbor rum. I got a bottle inside. A little later today, we punched the clock, and we cheers to a little Funk Harbor rum on Jamaican Independence Day. We're all Jamaican today. You know what I mean? Come on.
Awesome. Awesome, Al. Well, it's great to talk to you, man. Like we always do, can we punch this interview out just like towards the camera?
This one right here.
Yeah,
This.
yeah.